Storm Collectibles, Mortal Kombat 11, Scorpion, 1/6 scale figure. Let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. So obviously, whenever you buy a action figure from Target or Walmart, you want to make sure you check the figure just in case, because sometimes you end up with not Scorpion. Wow, I can't believe someone swapped Scorpion for this lady right here. What the hell is going on? Hello, guys, welcome back. So, yeah, that was obviously a joke about the swap figure and all that. But here we go. This is the first time I ever do a redo on a review in a while, actually. I feel like my previous opinion about this figure wasn't up to my standard. And also, I discovered a couple of things about this figure that I actually like a lot. In fact, I'm actually probably going to keep this one. Originally, I got this figure for the body because I was going to replace someone's damaged figure using this body. But luckily, I found a used body. Someone did a body swap and sold the body to me on a forum for like $30. So yeah, now I didn't have to do my own body swap on this guy. I think this figure is actually very nice as is. So really no reason for changing out the those arms. Despite having those joints on the arms on a 6 scale figure, this to me is actually perfectly acceptable. So anyway, let's go on and with this review. So on the back of the packaging, you do see he has quite a few uh, very interesting, posability options. He does. This is actually the version for Mortal Kombat 11, so he has the katanas and the wakizashi. So that's actually pretty interesting. And in this version of Scorpion, he's using a chain for his the kunai or the spears, whatever harpoon whatever you want to call it. In the past, it's always like the kunai attached to a rope, but this time it's a chain right there. So that's interesting. Now, believe it or not, this version of Scorpion actually appears in Mortal Kombat 1, the new game. I don't know why it's called Mortal Kombat 1, but he appears as a cameo character. And that's actually really interesting. They also changed the story quite a bit for the Mortal Kombat 1. In this current timeline, Kuai Liang, formerly Sub-Zero, is Scorpion. That is like mind-boggling. To me, Scorpion is always going to be Hanzo Hasashi, but having a Sub-Zero being a Scorpion, now that is that is special. Anyway, enough with the nonsense. We're gonna go ahead and go on the review. This one is actually rated for ages 17 plus. So my original concern about this figure being like $200 plus is that it can't compare to other brands like 3-0 and stuff like that. However, after messing around with this figure for quite a while, I do have to say this figure definitely have its strength. While comparing to like other brands, because there's something that Storm does here that I don't think any other brand can replicate. So stay tuned for that. So first off, we're going to take a look at what's included with Scorpion in terms of the accessories. We do have this a very weird Storm collectible stand. I think these are specially designed for the 6 scale figure. There are points of articulation, you can try to do some stuff with it, but in my personal opinion, this stand's actually not very good. It's too complicated for what it is, and this one actually came broken. This is actually obviously this figure was spot used, and the seller did not disclose to me that a piece on the stand is broken, and I didn't feel like gluing it back together. In my previous review, I said a lot of awful things about the stand, and I don't think that changed. For the most part, I think it's just something that they had good intentions. They tried to make something a little bit different from other brands. It just didn't work out. unfortunately. They could have went with something a little bit simpler, and then that probably worked just as well, versus something like this, which is just, in my opinion, overcomplicated, and it doesn't work. So anyway, we're gonna just skip the stand. We do have these. We have the his chain accessory right here. This piece I actually like a lot. I think this is actually pretty awesome. It's pretty well made. And then we also have a second kunai right there. If you don't want it with the chain, I guess you can just use this as a throwing weapon right there. And we have two pairs of, well, obviously we got the katana and the wakizashi, the shorter one. And I think these are very well done. You know, they're very hefty. I think it's actually metal. So yeah, this is a very beautiful weapon right here. Very, very high end. This is definitely on par with Hot Toys quality. Yeah. These are actually better than some of the 3.0 accessories that I've seen previously. So, you know, I was trying to compare this brand, like Storm Collectibles to 3.0, and I think that's my flaw right there in the logic. I think Storm Collectible is actually, you know, putting a lot of effort into these figures. And there's a reason why they're priced the way that they are. Because, you know, unlike 3.0 where stuff sometimes like to fall off on the figure, you're not actually going to have that kind of problem with a Storm Collectibles figure. In fact, everything stays on pretty well. I would say even better than some Hot Toys figures. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the katana right here. This right here is also very nicely done, very hefty. The blade, you know, is cold to the touch. So that's definitely a metal blade right there. That is very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that aside. And then we have this flame piece right here. This is also very nicely done. You know, very high quality. I believe it's I think it's PVC. It's just not like they didn't you know, put a lot of plasticizer in it, but it looks really good. And then we also have the strap right here, which allows you to attach the wakizashi and the katana to Scorpion right here. But I'm actually not going to bother with that because I feel like it's kind of pointless. What I prefer on Scorpion is to just have him as a melee fighter without any weapons, because that's what I'm, you know, that's what how I imagine Scorpion to be. I mostly just play Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and maybe 3, but after that, you know, I mostly just gave up Mortal Kombat after the 90s. So there we go. All right, so that's the accessories, and then we're gonna talk about the figure. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I do want to mention he's got a nice variety of hands. Some of these hands are actually very well done. Just looking at the painted details on these hands, I do actually have to say this is why I had to change the score on these figures. I mean the score on this particular figure, because after examining the hands, you know, I have actually seen quite a few Hot Toy figures with paint job on the hand that isn't very well done. And consider how many hands Storm Collectible give you on this figure, and how well these things are painted. You know, I have to increase the overall score on this figure quite a bit. These are actually very well done. Yeah. All right. So anyway, we're gonna focus on the figure now, and we're just gonna go through the details. So one of the reasons why you know, I had to do this review is I examined all the details on this figure. I actually messed around with this figure quite extensively, and unlike 3.0 figures, you know, I don't have anything falling off. I absolutely love that 3.0 Firefly figure, one of my favorite figure of all time. But that thing has a lot of issues with like parts falling off. The grenades, some of the stuff just comes off and drives me insane. Nothing is loose on this figure. Now, I have quite a few Hot Toys in my collection years ago, and I think most of them live up to my standards with parts that are not like super loose on the figure, and it just fits well, it poses well, and it articulates well, and overall, just like it feels like a very very solid figure, even for a 6 scale high end figure. And this Scorpion actually fits all of that category. Uh, it's a 6 scale figure. It's a high end collectibles, but you can actually play around with it without worrying about stuff getting completely out of stretch out of place and stuff like that. So that is a huge plus. And I think the reason for the arms to be designed this way, they want you to pose the figure. They want you to put him into multiple poses than just something that you're gonna put in one pose and then just leave it there forever, right? So there is definitely value to that. When a figure is designed that way, that way you get more mileage out of it. That definitely makes it more valuable than something that you're just gonna put in one pose and then leave it in the detail for like who knows until you decide that you don't want it anymore. So yeah, there's definitely a huge benefit for that. And the figure is, it's loose in some areas, but it's not really as loose. The reason why it's not super tight is, obviously designed for articulated reasons. And he will require a stand, if you want to keep him in like a pose for a long time. But that's just how 6 scale figures usually behave. So that's something that is acceptable to me. Acceptable to me. So yeah, I think this figure, hits all those check marks. So that's why I'm doing the reevaluation of this figure. So this is a 6 scale figure that has the ability to kneel. So that definitely wins a lot of points right there. And it really doesn't do much damage to the outfit in any way, shape, or form. So he's got durability in that department. Sometimes with some figures, you're trying to put them in somewhat of a natural pose, and you end up completely destroying the outfit. So that is definitely something worth mentioning. Also, something that's very worth mentioning are these wrist pegs. Now, these are the absolute best wrist peg I have ever seen on a 6 scale figure. I think every company should try to replicate Storm Collectibles when it comes to these wrist pegs. Makes changing the hands super easy, and there is absolutely no way, in my opinion, something like this would break. Look at how robust that peg is. That's just awesome. I don't think Storm Collectibles even include extra wrist pegs because they're confident that these things are not gonna break. So that is really really good. Like incredible in my opinion. Yeah, I mean this is just something that Hot Toys and 30 doesn't offer, or any other brand in my opinion. I think all wrist pegs should be done this way. Changing the hands are a breeze, and it's just it's very pleasant. I do not enjoy changing hands on like pretty much 99% of all the 6 scale figures I ever had until I have Scorpion here, and I just been changing the hands over and over. Like I am treating this guy pretty much like a 1/12 scale figure. Like I can't put it down. Since I got it, I just been messing around with it nonstop, like almost every day. And yeah, there's no deterioration whatsoever. It is just that definitely speaks volume about the quality on this figure. So yeah, this is actually a pretty incredible figure for 6 scale figure that you can pose and play around with like a 1/12 scale figure. You know, that is next level. The hand pegs, the wrist pegs are amazing. He balanced very well. He's got some cool accessories and that head sculpt right there. That is really good. It's not quite as detailed as you would compare to like brands like Hot Toys, but this is definitely you know up there with most high end 6 scale figures. This outfit is actually very nicely made too. They also did some weathering on the outfit itself to make it look very consistent, you know, to the plasticized PVC parts on the legs, the forearms, and the stuff like that. So overall, it's a very nice package. Now, there are some issues. There are some flaws that I do have to point out. So yeah, for his neck piece right here, that is a separate piece, and that has a tendency to come apart, you know, when you're posing the head, which leaves a gap between the this piece and this outfit right there. You know, sometimes the skin start to peep out, and that to me is a little bit disappointing. Yeah, and you can definitely tell the difference between the hood and the you know, this is not like all designed to be one piece, so you can see there's you can tell which is plastic and which is you know, soft goods. In my opinion, what they could do is they could actually just made a hood out of you know, soft goods, right? I think that would solve some you know, maybe like have an overlay, you know, just have the plastic and then you have the soft goods over the plastic and just glue it in place. I think that would sell it even better, you know, instead of having you know, this mix. This doesn't match very well, especially, you know, when you consider they are just the hood is very you know, dirty up, but the rest of the outfit, you know, from the neck down, just look like it's something else completely different. So yeah, that's one major critique. Besides that, you know, I don't really have anything else to say in terms of complaints. Now, originally I gave this figure a 7 out of 10 because, you know, I wasn't too happy with the price point considering uh, you know, comparing to other brands. But after messing with this figure, I said the durability, the posability, and you know, the overall presentation, the way the thing is put together, I had to raise the score on this figure to at least 1 point. So this guy is actually going to get an 8 out of 10. And for a $200 figure, being able to do all these things and having those amazing wrist pegs and you know, very well painted hands, most of the accessories, you know, definitely getting a higher score than usual. I'm actually going to remove my previous review on this figure and just go with this new score. And you know, if you're in the market for Scorpion here in the 6 scale figure, I definitely would recommend picking this guy up. So that is pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching.